Hi guys, welcome back to Shadow Work. It's been a while, but yeah, I believe that everybody needs to go and ground themselves every now and then. So I've been taking some time out to ground, some time out to actually be in the experience instead of trying to constantly just give information that I haven't processed or proved for myself, because that's what I believe each and every person is supposed to be doing. And in that very same breath, I understand that everybody's journey is different. And in my journey, I feel everything needs time for it to actually unveil itself. So, today I want to talk about order. I want to talk about processes. I want to go deeper into the conversation of God being a reflection of each and every one of us and trying to experience himself in all these different reflections. And I want to talk about processes in which things are happening that human beings have the tendency of questioning because they are not happening the way in which we want them to happen, forgetting that each and every one of us actually chose this path for a reason. And because we have forgotten why we are here, when things are happening and they are happening in a way that we do not agree with, because we are in the ego, we are operating from a place of only the mind, not the heart space. I think we doubt the process, we ignore the process, because it makes sense, because you are ignoring it because you are not aware, because you are unconscious, right? And because we all come from the same place, the same collective consciousness, I feel like the more people understand the process, it goes back to where it comes from, and then more and more people get to be able to understand that information, because we're all connected. So if one person is becoming more conscious, that information goes back to the collective consciousness, and then everybody else is able to access it. So a couple of days ago, I was actually at my sister's funeral, and a question was posed to me about who is the funeral for, and is the funeral there for the person who has passed away, or is it for the people who are left behind? And a lot of opinions were said in that conversation, and I actually realized that how can the funeral be for the person who has passed away? It to me, my understanding of it's that it is actually a process. It's the first step of the grieving process, because the people who have lost a loved one need to understand where the body of that person is. They need to know that as much as this person might not be in this physical reality, their body is placed at a certain place, and because they are there, they are now able to, I wouldn't say move on, but accept the reality of what is happening, because they know where the body is, because the soul is no longer there. The soul has gone into another dimension to experience a different reflection of God, because if God has created us to experience himself in all these different ways, then once the reflection that this vessel, this body, has experienced all that it needs to experience, then the body has to die, so that the soul goes into another dimension, into another experience of God. Because the moment that you exist, existence doesn't end. You exist, there's no non-existence. It's just that you move into another level of existence, you move into another reflection of God, which is a process. So the funeral is actually a process. It's a new process for the person who is no longer there, and it is also a start of the process of grief for the people who are left behind, because now their journey is different. They need to start experiencing different things that no longer include the person that is lost, and it went on to a point where we started talking about pregnancy, how that is also a process. I mean, before everything goes into the egg being fertilized, there's sperms that need to go into the female body, and only one sperm is able to fertilize the egg, and it is not a mistake, it's an order. And in all these big divine processes, the smaller processes that each person has to experience for the bigger picture. Do you understand what I mean? So as much as there's a process of the lost loved one who is going into another dimension to experience something different, there is also the process of the ones who have lost the loved one, which is a process of healing or a process of grief in order to move on to another stage of their own lives as well. The same with pregnancy. So those cells are moving to fertilize the egg, and once the egg is fertilized, another process begins. As much as these small processes are happening within the body, the bigger process is to have a live body that will have a soul. Those are all other small processes that are happening within the big process of having to have conceived the baby and to actually have the baby in this physical reality. So we human beings have a tendency of questioning certain things happening in our lives. We have a tendency of comparing ourselves to other people, comparing our process to other people's processes, and we forget that everything is happening for the good of your soul, not of somebody else's. There's certain journeys that are intertwined, there's certain processes that are parallel to each other, because as much as you are an individual, you are a small piece of the bigger picture, which is part of the bigger process of things. And when you are planning and the plans are not going the way you are trying or have planned them to be, then you question things, then you doubt the bigger process, forgetting that the reason that things have not been happening the way you want them to happen is because you are a small piece of the bigger plan, and you chose things to happen the way that they are happening. But because you have forgotten why you are here, you have forgotten why you chose to experience all of this, you question it, you doubt it. And I do not understand how people are able to compare two things that are not the same and were not meant to be the same. People want to succeed in other fields that have nothing to do with the things that excite them, because they are constantly comparing themselves and their soul's journeys to other people's journeys, and everything is happening in the way that it's supposed to happen. Everything is, as much as everything, it is your own journey, it is also part of the bigger picture, which you might not be aware of, which we probably aren't aware of, because it's like the human body. We have fingers, we have eyes, we have nose. All these body parts are serving a specific function for the greater good of the human body, for the body to be able to function fully. All these small pieces need to be doing what they need to be doing for the whole good of the body. So everything, no matter how chaotic things look, no matter how messed up things are, and no matter how things are not going according to the plan that your mind has created for you, it is all part of the bigger plan, the bigger blueprint, and I I am realizing that more and more people are becoming conscious and aware of how the universe works, how things are moving around, and more people are understanding that each and every one of us are part of a chessboard, and if every person is simply just a piece of the chessboard being moved for the greater good of everybody, and more people are being okay with their own experiences because they are understanding that, the saying that being you is a superpower. The truth in that, the fact that you are you and you understand what being you is, it makes the process much easier to bear and understand, because we are very quick to react, we are very quick to judge, to have opinions, to speak, instead of actually sitting back and listening to what is being said and watching how things are unfolding before deciding that it is not meant for you, even if whatever you are experiencing might be painful at that time. It is supposed to happen exactly the way it is happening. It is supposed to happen in the way that it's happening. But because we are so attached to the things of the world, we we lose sight of the true reasons why we are in this world, the true reasons why existence is there. But at the same time, as much as we might think we are losing sight because because of attachments, it is part confirmation. It is actually part of the process. You are supposed to doubt, you are supposed to be going through all of those things. It is all part of the bigger process. So I would just like to encourage people to to just take it as it comes, because it's part of all of it. And when you stop reacting to things that are happening, you realize that these things and the way the world is moving is not happening to you, it's happening for you, and it is being done by you, because you are the creator, you are the God, you are the one who is asking God, the universe, the creator, to reflect back the universe that is inside yourself, because everybody has a universe within themselves, and if there's chaos within, the chaos will come out. You'll see it in your physical reality, because there's already chaos within, and it's part of the process. We are not meant to be awake at the same time. We are not meant to be conscious at the same time. We are not meant to do things the same way. We are all individuals, and we are part of the bigger plan. All we need to do is serve our own function, operate in our own true excitement and passion and self, in our own self, and stop comparing things that are not the same. We might be all female, but there's different types of females, there's different types of personalities, there's different types of ways of expressing self. But as much as there's all these different things, it is all part of the bigger plan, it is part of the process. And in the big process of things, there is smaller processes that are supposed to happen for the divine plan. And I've actually realized that 2025, it is the year of the number 9, and 9 is completion, 9 is transformation, 9 is revelations. Everything that is in the darkness has to come to light. It is the end of a cycle, and because it is the end of a cycle, everything has to come out. All things need to be experienced. The collective consciousness is rising. More and more people are understanding themselves, are living in their own truth, and it's beautiful to see. So yeah, man, let's be present in the moment, and let's not be quick to react. Let's not be quick to respond. Take a step back and listen, truly listen. And if you understand what listening means, you understand that it is not just the words, it's the healing, it's the energy that is happening around you, and you understand that God is in each and every one of us. No matter what the other person might be doing or choosing to experience, it has nothing to do with you, but you have to see God in them, because they are part of you. They are part of God. It is just a reflection that you didn't choose. And just because you didn't choose it, it doesn't mean that that reflection is wrong. It is just a reflection that is not aligned with who you are. And if you are true to who you are and you are in alignment with self within, everything that is outside of you will call the things that are aligned for you for this process. And that doesn't mean that alignment means having a beautiful life and having all these tangible things and attachments. No, it just simply means the things that are aligned with what you are, the peace or the distraction that is happening or disruption that is happening within yourself, you know. So stay true to self, stay honest with self. In this dream, in this physical reality, you attract what you are. You are spirit first, and if your spirit is in chaos, that's the only thing you'll be able to experience. Because if you find yourself having interactions with disruptive people or having altercations and there's violence or whatever the case may be, it is your soul or your spirit trying to show you that there is a place within self that is disruptive. There is a place within self that is doubtful. Whatever it is that you are experiencing, it is only a reflection back to you to fix or to align or balance the self that is within the universe that is inside of you. You know, you attract what you are. And if you don't like the way things are looking outside of your reality, then you need to look within for answers in order to be able to resolve the chaos or the things that you do not want outside of who you are. So yeah, man, I hope people, I hope the collective keeps on rising. I hope the collective keeps on being conscious and being aware. And I am realizing this could be because the peace within self is much more peaceful. But I am realizing that more and more people are becoming aware of who they are, what they are, and why they are here, or they are at least questioning certain things about this dream. You know, more and more people are understanding that this is actually a dream. Um, it is not a solid thing. You know, you have the power to create. So create. And whatever it is that you are creating, whether you are aware that you are creating it or not, it is getting created. So look around and see what you are creating. Are you creating the reality that you want to experience? Or are you creating the disruption that is happening within? You know, so everything is inside. All the answers are within, all the possibilities, all of it is within self. And it's a process. It's a process. But once you understand that it is a process, and you understand there's a difference between knowing and believing. You know, when you believe something, it's not complete, it's not full, you know, because you believe something and you are being hopeful that the belief is gonna happen. But when you know something, you know it's going to happen, irregardless of how things may be looking outside, irregardless of how things might be happening outside. How you know that you know, it's how you react to everything that is happening. You are reacting differently because you know the inner truth. You know, you don't believe that it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. And when you know, it has no other option but to come back to you, you know. And when you become whole within self, nobody is half, everybody is a whole. You know, even if we get into relationships and you're like, this is my better half, you cannot take half an apple and half an orange and put them together and create a fruit. That doesn't work. You know, everybody is a whole. You can take a full apple and a full orange and create a fruit salad. You know, you can create beautiful things from things that are whole. But if you are not whole within yourself, if you're not balanced within yourself, because all of it is inside self, all the negative, all the positive, all the dark and the light is within self, and the balance of the two is what creates or is able to create with other things. Everybody is a function of the bigger picture, and for the bigger picture to work, that one person or thing needs to be complete within self so that it can work properly for the bigger picture. So if you are still in half, then you need to go within and sort things out inside self. So yeah.